Welcome back to our channel. I'm Kitty Bloomfield and this is Emma Skrakis, the nutrition coach. And today we wanted to talk a little bit more about an amazing new supplement that's just dropped, niacinamide. So Emma, tell everyone a little bit more about, why we decided to add this to our product line.
Well, it's something that for years I've heard mentioned by so many health authorities, and there's just this resounding appreciation for this particular nutrient. And something that I've recommended to clients for years, I've used myself for years. It's a real go-to, it seems, and across the board, there's increasing evidence of its benefits. And perhaps initially with Saturate, it wasn't something that we launched with the rest of our supplements in a hurry because it was quite available. It has been for a long time, even in Australia. But over the last couple of years in particular, I've really noticed that the suppliers that I used to send clients to have kind of dried up and it's not as available as it used to be, particularly in a loose powdered form, which is what we prefer. So it was getting to a point that, as has been with a lot of our supplements we do in Saturate, we tend to only want to release the things that we can't find at a particular quality elsewhere. Otherwise, why bother? Mm. And now that it was becoming less and less available, we really felt like, I think we need to, put this in with the rest of our supplement family because it is such an imperative thing that we see so many benefits from, and for our own selfish reasons too, just so that we could get access to it, particularly in Australia where it just, it really has become less available.
And it's so, what I love about our version too is the little scooper, which makes it so easy to dose. Because what I've found with other brands, it comes in these huge bags. It's difficult to dose. So, and I know you talk about that as we, get into it. So, I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something it was just more and more signs that, we've really got to source this and do it ourselves because it just wasn't, it wasn't. There was a couple of suppliers still, but quite often they were sold out, and I tend to wonder whether maybe they're just not stocking it all anymore. So it was time for us to make it available and reliable.
Awesome. And so just tell everyone a little bit more about what actually is niacinamide.
Niacinamide. So it's basically the active amide form of niacin, which is vitamin B3. It's something you would have seen us mention a lot in regards to our skincare, and it's a widely appreciated skincare ingredient because topically it has incredible local benefits to skin cells. But it's not something you'll see kind of in the beauty health realm talked about quite as much in terms of its benefits when used orally as a supplement at pharmaceutical grade. So now we'd like to increase the education around it. It's such a key energy promoting, PUFA protective, if you want to call it life supportive substance, and something that we think could be, I suppose, a go-to insurance policy to creating more, I suppose, robust health and protection against, the onslaught of disease later in life even, and very, very safe too.
And what does it actually do in the body?
So being a B vitamin or a derivative of B vitamin, it's key in energy production, and it provides very specific energy to the mitochondrial system. So essentially the functioning of the electron transport chain in the mitochondria, which are the kind of the energy factories in the cells to help us make energy. But another thing that is become more and more, I suppose, understood is that it's a really reliable precursor to something called NAD+, which is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which is a signaling molecule found in every living cell that plays a really important role in repairing damaged DNA, elevating cell function, optimizing cell survival, and general lifespan of the cell. So NAD+ is also essential for the production of certain signaling proteins which deplete with age, which are involved in many physiological functions and may dictate our overall longevity. When this molecule donates an electron, so it reduces, it becomes what we call NADH, And what's really important to remember is that you want that ratio of NAD to NADH to be very much in favor of NAD. If you want optimum health, healing, and resistance to overall disease. And Dr. Ray Peat once stated that levels of NAD should be somewhere between 300 to 500 times higher than NADH. So don't worry too much about the technical information when it comes to that, those sort of molecular shifts. We've put together a pretty comprehensive article on our website, which I really encourage people to go to and read, and perhaps reread and visit the links embedded in the article as well, because it's such an important concept to get your head around, and hopefully the more you read it, the more you'll value the importance of this molecule and the other lifestyle things you can do to help elevate your NAD plus and why it's so important. Because you'll see even on the internet, there's more and more information about this molecule, and there are some ways of increasing it that aren't so helpful, and other ways that are. And the beauty of niacinamide is that more and more it's proven to be a great precursor to creating NAD plus, but it's so now available because we're making it more available, but it's really very affordable. So it's not going to cost a bomb. And when it comes to NAD plus, it really does decline with age naturally. So for example, in your 60s, you might have roughly half of what you had in your 20s. And perhaps by 70, you might only have about 10% left of what you had when you were younger. So age in itself sees this decline happen. But also this decline is accelerated by excessive stress, by DNA damaging radiation. So example, EMFs from mobiles, Wi-Fi, X-ray, CT scans, which we're more and more, exposed to these days, giving more and more reason that we need these extra, molecules to help us. Also, the overconsumption of alcohol really does accelerate the depletion of NAD plus, and too many late nights when you really throw off your circadian rhythm, that's something, because then you're exposed to darkness for longer in the day, which is quite a stressor to the body. And the blue lights, have a factor as well. So we can discuss more about that further on. That's something that you're, you yourself would have heard about the niacinamide, and something why I think it's a part of niacinamide. I've always known that it has these benefits in terms of just general protection of our energy production. But when you start to learn how it can actually increase the lifespan of cells and our whole bodies, it starts to become, really quite essential.
Yeah, it is amazing. And so what would be some of the benefits of taking it regularly?
I think fundamentally one of the most important is the general protection it gives against PUFAs, which are the polyunsaturated fatty acids that we harp on a lot about in all our articles and social media. So by raising the NAD plus, niacinamide restrains the release of the very unstable, volatile, inflammatory PUFAs from storage in the body, which once they're released from storage, we refer to them as free fatty acids. So by doing this, you're preventing the oxidative damage that these PUFAs can cause in your tissue. So PUFAs in themselves are powerfully antimetabolic, directly implicated in obesity, diabetes, premature aging, and niacinamide can protect against all of this. And generally speaking, niacinamide brings about the kind of benefits that basically are associated with having a higher metabolic rate. So everything from increased energy production, improved insulin sensitivity, and to, the prevention, but also potentially the treatment of the kind of degenerative diseases that are related to impaired energy production overall. So to give you an example, just some of the growing body of research on the known benefits of niacinamide might include the treatment of inflammatory skin conditions, so rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, reduction in the risk of skin cancer, prevention of neurodegenerative diseases, healing of the leaky gut at the right doses, improved insulin sensitivity. There's incredible research come out not too long ago to show that it's pretty significant in its anti-obesity effects for the safe reduction of fat stores, age-related hormonal deficiencies, depression. It can reverse reproductive decline in older females and even prevent fatty liver disease. So there's quite a broad spectrum of benefits. And again, refer to our article on our website and you'll see sources and research links associated to all these claims.
And Emma, like if you were looking for a niacinamide supplement, like what should you look for?
Personally, I think it's important that it be in a powdered form for a couple of reasons. First of all, generally when you get a pure powdered supplement, it should have no fillers, no anti-caking agents. Whereas once it's encapsulated or it's made into a hard pill, there's required fillers and flow agents and starches and other excipients to go into making that capsule or pill. So for that reason, but also for the fact that you can actually dose it accordingly and dose it personally to your needs. And when it comes to niacinamide, specifically for the benefits in regards to creating more NAD+, you actually only need very small amounts and small amounts frequently. Again, being a water-soluble B vitamin, it does deplete rather quickly. It has a short half-life in the body, perhaps maybe 4 hours. So we do recommend small doses, maybe 3 times a day to really get optimum effects. So by having it in a powder form, you can actually dose it, keep it small. Often your capsules are in 400 or 500 milligrams minimum, which is far more than what we want to see someone take on a daily basis. Perhaps 50 to 100 milligrams is all you need. And actually, we've got here first bottle available. And as you can see, we've put in there.
The scooper is amazing.
Scooper.
So that's 100 milligrams, isn't it? So it makes it so easy to dose.
That scoop there. Give you exactly 100 milligrams, so you don't have to sit there with your micro scales or anything. And again, on the article, you'll see recommendations for dosage. Generally, Rapid always suggested, and this was for decades when I'd hear him talk about the plentiful benefits of niacinamide, that maybe 50 to 100 milligrams 3 times a day was a great optimal dose. Others have said even 50, perhaps as low as 25 milligrams, might be all you need, but you can dose according to your body size. And that's all written out in the article too. So you can play around with dosages. Yep. There are other benefits to taking much higher amounts for a short period of time. That's explained as well. So I do recommend everyone become educated about this and figure out their ideal dose. But to stick with that good small dose, we've hopefully made it much easier. And it's very easy to take. So you just you could add it to a little bit of water. You might detect just a slight bitter taste.
Yeah, it's not the greatest tasting, but it's fine.
No, it's fine. But it will actually better still is to maybe add it to something sweet like orange juice and have it around the time of a meal, because you want there to be energy coming in with it to get the full effect.
So that was going to be my next question, is what's the ideal time to take it? I know you've talked about maybe closer to the early morning, midday.
I think if you're going to factor in 3 doses, I'd start early in the morning, one around lunch or mid-morning, one early arvo. Some people find it fine to take at night. Others find it really does make them far more alert and a bit too awake to get a good heavy sleep. So perhaps push it into the earlier parts of the day. And around the time of a meal or snack, and keep that coming in with energy. But I think another word to caution is, as per any supplement, it's not the magic bullet, and it's really worth considering all the other things you can do to get the best from the niacinamide. And niacinamide alone isn't going to see you necessarily get your NAD+ levels, optimum without doing all the other right things you could do. For example, it's been shown that exercise in itself increases the enzymes which synthesize NAD+, your strength training in particular. As I mentioned before, supporting a really healthy circadian rhythm. So perhaps getting up, closer to sunrise, going to sleep closer to sunset. And if you are someone who stays up later at night, at least if you can, block some of the excess blue light, perhaps get some warmer red lights going on. And another thing is not far, but near infrared saunas have been shown to be helpful as well. It's just that gentle heat stress, and the infrared light is really positive in supporting these enzymes and avoiding the things we mentioned earlier that can really accelerate the decline of NAD.
Right. And, like Emma said, head over to our website. She's put together an amazing article with some incredible research links, and you can read more and learn more. And then, we've got it live on the website now, and you can order. I don't know.
Emma, can I add one thing?
Oh, yes, of course. Yep.
Considering you need such a small amount, this bottle, which doesn't look like much, should last you more than 6 months. Yep. So it's, you shouldn't need to order it too frequently. But it will definitely keep you going.
Well, thanks so much, Emma, for coming on and sharing all that information about niacinamide. So excited. You can head over to our Saturé website, www.saturé.com.au. Check out that article, the product's live. You can purchase it. Follow us on our Instagram page as well. So it's Saturé_official_. And that's where Emma and I share more tips and education and recipes so that you can have a more youthful metabolism. And as always, guys, don't forget to take a screenshot of this episode and share it on Instagram stories and tag me at KITTYBLOMFILD. And each month I pick a winner and they get a tub of Saturé collagen valued at $79. And I will see you again next week.